Hello, my name is Kirioth, and it's time for another Monday Ramble. That's right, we're trying to get back into it. We're trying to get back to normal. I'm aware things have been a little bit up and down the last few weeks. There is a video about it on the channel, which I'll put in the description so you can find out what's going on. I know I've missed a couple of rambles, but things are looking up. Things are starting to get a bit back to normal, and situations are improving, which is nice, which means we can actually start making videos again, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? There's a whole backlog of stuff that I've wanted to do over the last couple of weeks and just haven't been able to. I've got stuff to show you from Archon Studios again. There's the Soulblight video, which I keep pushing back because I need to finish it off, and I haven't got around to doing that. I've got you some Traitor Guard, 3D printed Traitor Guard to show you at some point, because I've started a 3D printed Traitor Guard army, because I found someone who does the models I want. If Games Workshop won't make them, fine, I'll do it myself.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
I say I'll do it myself. Someone else will make the sculpts and I'll print them, because I don't have the capability to do the first part of that. But anyway, we're back. We're going to have a look at what is available for the previews this time around. I believe it's quite Black Templar heavy. My chair is making a bunch of noise, which is about standard, about normal. So let's just go straight into it. So, as I said, we've got some Black Templar stuff to begin with. We've got High Marshal Helbrecht on the way. Still a solid model. Still looks good. I still think this is one of the... That's just made it smaller. I still think this is one of the best reimaginings they've done so far. One of the best updates. So close to the original. Maintains all the attitude. Admittedly, the lad cleaning the sword that is still embedded in an orc is still daft, still silly. But I can't help but like it because of how excessive and over the top it is. Clearly, makes no sense, but on the other hand, you've got to admire the dedication to duty there. I really think they've done a great job updating this model, and it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. They've absolutely nailed it, in my opinion, for that one. So here's on the way. We also have Grimaldis and Retinue as well. Again, I suggest a solid update for this one. I like the fact that the big icon, like the marble icon that's being carried around, has actually increased in scale. That's a lot bigger than the one on the current Retinue, and I really like it for that. I think it adds a bit more kind of gravitas to it. It makes it more of almost like a Herculean effort to keep just trudging round with it on his back. Obviously, he is a servitor, and it looks like he's got 2 bionic legs, 2 bionic arms, so the chances are he's pretty much 99% machinery at this point, but it's still, I don't know, it has more presence to it. It's just more impressive overall. It looks more kind of substantial. The banner is extremely excessive. I'm actually not sure about the skeleton, to be honest. For this banner, I don't know why, but I've increasingly felt like the skeleton doesn't quite work as well up there. I kind of like the idea, but not the execution, which is, I don't know. It's probably just me being ultra picky, because I like everything else about this update. Same thing with this as we had with the High Marshal. This is just a really solid update to an existing group of models. I think they've done a really good job with it, but for some reason the skeleton just doesn't sit quite right with me, and I can't really work out why that is. The rest, though, looks really good. My only complaint, I guess, is Grimaldis has got the same pose as the Emperor's Champion, and they've both got the same thing with the weapon turned to face the enemy. So you've got the flat of the blade for the Emperor's Champion, and you've got the face of the Crozius instead of the edge pointing towards the enemy in the case of Grimaldis. I think it's too similar. That's the only issue I've got with this model, is the fact that the poses are very, very close, and I would have liked some separation between the two. But apart from that, again, it's a really solid reimagining. They've done it well. They've updated it really nicely. Just some solid stuff. I mean, there we go. I mean, just to perfectly highlight it, it's not just the fact that he's holding the thing, but if we look at the Emperor's Champion, even the hand, like his hand that's got like the rosary in it, like the prayer beads, whatever you want to call them, it's in a similar position there as well. It's just he's holding a gun instead. It's not quite identical. You know, we've got a foot on the rock for the Emperor's Champion. Of course, you've got a foot on the rock. Whereas you don't have that with Grimaldis. And I suppose the legs are in a slightly different position. But upper body-wise, they just feel quite similar. And I don't know that I like the fact that that pose has been repeated so soon across two models that you're going to see together, you know? I feel like it would have been nice to have one of them charging in a kind of ready position as opposed to both of them doing the look at my big pointy thing pose at the same time, you know? I mean, that's really the only criticism. Also, look at my big pointy thing is not the way I should have phrased that. It's really my only criticism, because I like both the models. I think they look great. The Emperor's Champion looks great, and Grimaldis looks great. It's just, could have done with a little bit more variety on the upper body pose there, lads. Just a little bit. Just a tad. Just to separate them that little bit more. Apart from that, they do look decent. We've also got the Marshal, which, again, I quite like. I think they've done a decent job. I like the extra, layered plates on the armour, especially on the legs. That's a really cool touch. And his pet Skelly Boy that he's got attached to his power pack, I actually like more than the one that's on the banner, but I think that's probably because it's down to the way it's posed. It also looks like it's laughing at a joke that he's told, which I do quite like. Or whispering to him to do terrible things. Maybe both. Maybe giggling in his ears. And then telling him to murder people. Don't know why I went there. That's probably not a good sign, is it? We also have the Castellan as well. Now, I kind of assumed, honestly, I thought this would end up being some sort of a limited edition model, but I don't think it is. I think it just is. It's just a model. It's just the Castellan. But that's good to know. I don't know why I assumed that this guy would be limited edition and it would be available for like a weekend and then you'd never see him again, but I just sort of ended up feeling like that might be the case. But no, it looks like he's just going to be there. He's just going to be there 100% of the time. Good. Keep him. He's solid. One of the best models they've done for ages, this guy. Really like him. Proper beefy, chunky boy. I mean, look at the girth. Look at the girth on that. We also have the Primaris Crusader squad, where you've got like the neophytes in there as well. They do look good. I mean, this is the thing. The Black Templars stuff fixes all the things I don't like about kind of... I mean, I say Primaris Marines, it's not fair. I just like overly ornamented stuff. I've said I don't know how many times that Stern Guard and Vanguard veterans are my favourite units because they are covered in extra decoration and, you know, things like the Dark Angels with the robes and stuff. I like the over-the-top side of things. I like the more gothic look for Space Marines. And, these guys have it. They absolutely have it, which is why I like them so much. Still not quite enough to get me into actually collecting them, I'll be honest. I've got plenty of other projects to be getting on with. They would be top of the list. Were I to start another Space Marine army, they would be top of the list. But I've got an armoured company that I'm doing, I've got my Traitor Guard that I've started, and I've got my 4 monstrosities that I need to paint. So I'm kind of set, but should the fancy ever take me, I think these are the ones that I'd go for. Because look, then they've got the robes, they've got the purity seals, the chains, multiple belts. Love the multiple belt look. They just look great. We've also got the Codex Supplement, of course. Still not sure about that cover art, unfortunately. And we've got the upgrade sprue, which I still think looks way better than the other chapters' upgrade sprues for the most part. Yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff on there, really. There's just a lot of cool stuff on there. I've decided I do like the helmet that's like the cross. I do like that. I'll take that. With the single like vision slit visor. What am I talking about? I was on the fence. I've settled. I do like it. It's good. So we've got the data cards and the dice as well. Very simple dice. Fine. Good. They're doing it right now. They've stopped doing stupid dice now, which I'm happy with. just do them this way forever. Don't make unreadable dice again. It's really annoying. And we also have the Space Marine Chaplain. Now this, hang on, this isn't new, guys. This is he's in the Space Marine Heroes box, isn't he? Is he getting a solo release? It's not just the Heirs of Sigismund who are getting new releases. As a classic Chaplain returns to Boss of the Reclusium with your favourite Space Marine chapter, previously only available as part of the Space Marine Heroes set. Okay, yeah, cool. So, I mean, is he going to be taken out of the set now, or is he just a separate thing, but you can also get him in that set as well? Be interesting to find out. I never really thought I'd see this guy by himself, to be honest. That's cool. I mean, more options to buy the stuff is never bad, is it? Oh yeah, and the little pin badges are going to be available as well. Yeah, fine, cool. as I've said before, not my thing, but I know there were those who appreciate it. So there are also Horse Heresy books from recent Sunday preview. Unfortunately, they ran into delays. Shocking. So book 3 and book 7 are coming to pre-order finally, so that's good. Wait, book 3 and book... So they've been out... How long have they been not available for, I wonder? I've not kept up on the availability of the books, but that's not great if they've not been available, is it? Well, maybe all will be fixed. Maybe all will be fixed with the dropping of the new box that we definitely know is happening, even if Games Workshop don't want to admit it. So for Blood Bowl, we've got a Croxigor. That's a solid-looking model. That is a good-looking Croxigor. I like that. He looks angry. He's got a big knuckle duster thing made of stone. Is it stone or is it metal? Either way, it's going to hurt when he punches you with it. That's a cool model. I like that. I missed that. Did we miss that when it was previewed? I'm sure we probably did. When it was shown off. They usually do this on a Monday. And I think sometimes I just miss them because I'm in the middle of recording or editing when the thing drops and then I put the video up. And then I don't think about it again until like a couple of days later and I go back to check. But by that time, there's other things that I'm already working on, and so I miss stuff. So, yeah, I don't recognise this guy, but he does look awesome. You watch, I'll go back and check the channel and find that we've already talked about him. So, we also have in White Dwarf, generals from the cities of Sigmar will especially interesting updates to their rules. So if you're a Cities of Sigmar player, there's also an investigation into the world of the orcs, wild and unruly speed freaks. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I used to have a Speed Freaks army back in the day, way back. Love me some Speed Freaks. Absolutely love them. Quality. Then we've also got Urdesh the Magister and the Martyr from Black Library. Warhammer Plus. All right, what have we got? We've got an Underworld show. We've got a new Lore Masters, one White Dwarf, and the Realm Gate Wars, All Gates, and episode 7 of Angels of Death. Oh man, we need to do an actual review of this service, don't we? we need to properly talk about Warhammer Plus. It's been out for quite a while. At this stage. It deserves its own dedicated video. Let's just save it for that, shall we? Because I think you can probably tell from my overall demeanour that I just don't really think it's worth the money right now. And then we've also got Hangout and Hobby a couple of days of this week, and then Friday there's the clinic and the roundup. Cool. Okay, so I think they're pretty much down to... They are consistently only doing 3 days a week now, which makes sense, because I think they're back in the office now, aren't they? Because they've got that new space that they filmed the thingy in, which actually looked okay. I will say my pet peeve for the preview that we saw last weekend? Yeah, it was last weekend, the Warhammer Day Online Warhammer Preview Online. The one thing that bugged me about that presentation, and this is not meant as I'm not having a go at anyone, or I'm not saying that people are bad at what they do, because all the things they've done thus far, they've done from their homes, like they've done from their home offices, where if you're talking, you are looking at a webcam, or you're looking at your monitor because you're talking to other people who you can also see, or even if you can't see them, you'll have information on the screen, you'll have your prompts and all that stuff. I did notice whilst the preview was going, because I went back and I went over it. There was a lot of presenters talking like this, just fully like not at the microphone, just like adjacent to the microphone and not doing eye contact with the people watching, when instead doing eye contact with the co-host. Which, in fairness, it's an instinctual thing. When you're sitting next to someone and you are having a conversation with them, just as a human being, well, for most people, there are those of us with weird anxieties who may occasionally drift off into nowhere. But generally speaking, your average human, you're going to address the person directly. If you're having a conversation for the bants whilst you're live on your stream, you're going to be talking to them, and you're just going to automatically rotate and end up talking at them instead of at the camera, into the microphone, towards the 10, 25,000 people watching, which is where you should be looking, ideally. You should be looking forward, talking into that, as opposed to looking sideways, talking away from it. that's something that I'm sure will improve in time, because I know I'm not the only person who was like, no, turn back, you need to turn back. I saw loads of comments that were like, why wouldn't he look? It's because you're used to, when you do it from home and when you're just talking to a monitor, the camera's right there. It's like you just talk straight forward. When you're talking to another person, it's really difficult to fight the urge to turn and speak to them instead. Which actually, when I went and did the battle report with Mikey from Hellstorm, we also did a coffee time as well, where he said I was there and are there any questions that you want to ask? And whilst we were talking to each other for that video, I know full well I did exactly the same thing. Even though I knew where the camera was, where the microphone was, the temptation, which I fell into quite a lot, was to turn and address Mikey directly. When really, if you're talking to people in an audience who are watching you, you should be facing the other way. It's just very easy to not do that. So I have one of those things where I was like, man, people are jumping on this, and I can see why, but it's also kind of counter to what you would typically do when you speak to someone who is right next to you. But yeah, that was a weird tangent. Why did I start talking about that? I don't know. Anyway, that's what we've got for previews this week. Is there anything in there that takes your fancy? If so, let me know it in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games. And for Noble Knight Games in the US, we now have a US affiliate link as well, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.